Oh, Rik Luxury. Friendship is a very interesting thing. And if there's one good friend that you have in professional wrestling, Rik, it's that man right there, Marcus Mack, because he never trusted me. Rik, you didn't realize that I, Matthew Theall, the greatest mind in professional wrestling, hold the fate of every championship in all pro wrestling in the palm of my hands. And I will prove it to you, everyone who says no. The minute Perry Von Vicious came into all pro wrestling, he won the 2011 Young Lions Cup Championship. A couple of months later, I ended the reign of Dylan Drake as Universal Heavyweight Champion. And Rik, I orchestrated your record-setting third worldwide internet championship reign, and I organized this match for the tag team championship for you. And Rik, when it was all coming down, when it was all coming together, I decided that you don't deserve to be tag team champion. Rik, I've also decided that you don't deserve to be APW Worldwide Internet Champion.
I'm all pro, and you're just an amateur. You can try as hard as you can, but you can't handle us. I'm waiting at the pit and signing autographs. I'm always in first place, you always in the back. Homie, I'm all pro, and you're just an amateur. You can try as hard as you can, but you can't handle us. I'm waiting at the pit and signing autographs. I'm always in first place, you always in the back. Homie, I'm all pro.
APW faithful, welcome to another exciting edition of All Pro Wrestling Gym Wars. I'm JJ Purdum alongside my broadcast colleague, Shane Stolli.
We got some fantastic action coming up this week after what happened at the top of the hour from last show with the TheallStars and Pink Making. Rik Luxury defends the Worldwide Internet Championship against none other than Levi Shapiro.
The unorthodox Jew gets an opportunity for the Worldwide Internet Championship. Also one-on-one action. Daniel Torch going on one-on-one against the Rock Legend scum, Adam Thornstowe. I'm looking forward to it, Shane.
Daniel Torch, a lot of people sell him short because of his size, but there is nobody on the current All Pro Wrestling roster that has more heart than the one and only Daniel Torch.
And we are getting right into it. APW Gym Wars coming in full effect this week. And we're starting things off hot and heavy with a former Worldwide Internet Champion, Will Rude.
Taking on one of the newest graduates of the All Pro Wrestling Boot Camp, the one and only Alan Michaels.
Introducing first from East Palo, California, weighing in 216 pounds, Will Rude.
Of course, Will Rude recently making it to the semifinals of the Lucky 7 tournament to determine a #1 contender for the Universal Heavyweight Championship, but not quite able to make it all the way to the end.
Rude fell just a little short in going into the finals, but he was so impressive. And let's see just how impressive he is against this young man, Alan Michaels, the most recent 2012 graduate of the APW Boot Camp.
This should be an interesting matchup. Of course, you know, we haven't seen a lot from Alan Michaels because he got that one victory over Sheik Kanabati, but you got to say Sheik Kanabati really did give it to him.
Well, it was a victory nonetheless. In the record books, it's going to show that he has a win in the column. All right, the referee calls for the bell, and here we are, one-on-one in our opening contest this week on Gym Wars.
Should be interesting. Alan Michaels has the height advantage, but Will Rude definitely has the size. He's just, every time we see him, he's getting more and more muscular, constantly working on that body. It's just an amazing transformation in Will Rude.
As Will Rude has been becoming more and more seasoned as a professional wrestler, he has been spending a lot more time in the gym, and you can totally tell that by his physique. Shoulder tackling easily knocks down Alan Michaels.
Off the ropes. Oh! Alan Michaels goes for the up and over, but an atomic drop by Will Rude and a beautiful drop kick by Alan Michaels takes Will Rude off his feet.
Nicely placed right to the chest of Will Rude, and Alan Michaels taking it right to this young man, the former Worldwide Internet Champion.
Firing in with a couple nice forearms is Alan Michaels. Will Rude just staggered in the corner. I'm surprised at the advantage that Alan. Oh, there we go. Will Rude fights back. Alan Michaels with a house of fire, though, just coming right back at Will Rude, showing him what he's got.
Goes for the discus punch and connects. Alan Michaels, goes for another one and one too many times. Oh, and a nice power slam by Will Rude. Alan Michaels really taking the fight to Will Rude tonight, trying to make an impact here at APW.
Will Rude trying to get back into that internet title picture. You know, of course, after the TheallStars really cost him that internet title to Rik Luxury, holding that title for an unprecedented third time, Will Rude is definitely desperate to get back into that title hunt.
Rude with the sky high and now going up top for a high-risk maneuver. Rude, here he goes. Ooh, with a 5-star frog splash.
1, 2, 3.
That's all she wrote for Alan Michaels. Will Rude picks up a victory.
Your winner via pinfall in 1 minute, 47 seconds, Will Rude.
And Will Rude picks up the victory, Shane. Back in contention, hopefully, for that APW Worldwide Internet Championship.
In all pro wrestling, victories are more important than anywhere else in professional wrestling. You know, sometimes it's just a smart comment or anything that can get you a title shot elsewhere, but it's victories that get you a title shot here in all pro wrestling. And Will Rude is starting that climb back into internet title contention. And with this victory here over this young newcomer, Alan Michaels.
I think Alan Michaels has a bright future here at APW. He showed a lot of promise tonight, but he just couldn't get it done against the more seasoned athlete of Will Rude. But Alan Michaels will learn every time he steps foot in an APW ring, whether it's a win or a loss. But I suggest we'll see more wins very, very soon.
Absolutely. I mean, the road is just starting for Alan Michaels, but two guys that have had a long road and storied histories here, two former Universal Heavyweight Champions, are getting ready to go head-to-head next here on Gym Wars.
We will see Boyce LeGrande take on the Golden Boy Dylan Drake, and that's coming up. Stay tuned.
Do you have what it takes to become a pro wrestler? The APW Bootcamp Training School is accepting applicants for pro wrestlers, managers, valets, and referees. All Pro Wrestling home APW Bootcamp is where future legends are born. For the last 19 years, APW has been the leader in talent development. Top graduates include the Great Khali, Crash Holly, Spike Dudley. For your free brochure, call us at 510-785-8396.
APW faithful right now, we're with the winner of the previous match, Will Rude, who defeated a APW Bootcamp graduate, Alan Michaels. Now, Will Rude, you've been having a lot of issues with the TheallStars. Matthew, Theall, Perry Von Vicious, Damian Grundy, and Levi Shapiro. Do you have any words against the TheallStars?
See, Matt Theall, Damian Grundy, Perry Von Vicious. You see, you cost me my Worldwide Internet Championship. And every morning that I wake up, I think about it, and I think about it, and I think about it. You see, you boys started something you're not going to finish. I'm coming for you. Whether I got to take you out 1 by 1, 2 by 2, whatever. Revenge is upon you two.
Revenge?
Whoa,
Revenge? I hear...
what's
Grundy. Revenge? Revenge.
You
Revenge?
here without him?
You're not going to have the chance to get revenge, Will Rude, because next week, when you get in the ring with Damian Grundy,
Next week.
you're going to lose, man. You're going down. Damian Grundy's going to break you in half. He's going to destroy you.
Come on. You want to be rude? We're going to get rude next week.
Well, Shane, that match is coming up next week. Will Rude taking on the man beast, Damian Grundy.
The Destroyer Man, that's going to be huge, but right now we've got a fantastic matchup as well. The Golden Boy, Dylan Drake, taking on the APW legend, Boyce LeGrande.
From San Francisco, California, weighing 224 pounds, the Golden Boy, Dylan Drake.
The Golden Boy, Dylan Drake, has certainly become much more aggressive as of late in his quest to return to the top of the mountain that is all pro wrestling, Shane.
Absolutely, he just recently won that Lucky 7 tournament to be the #1 contender for the Universal Heavyweight Championship. Just waiting for that next big shot.
And his opponent tonight could knock him back a step. And that's an APW legend, a bona fide legend in the bad boy Boyce LeGrande.
Absolutely multiple-time tag team champion, universal heavyweight champion, just an all-around fantastic performer. So many great matches here at All Pro Wrestling, and this looks to be another one right here as he takes on another former universal heavyweight champion.
It looks to be a great one-on-one contest with this man, the original West Side player.
He's been out of action for a little bit after that injury from Derek Sanders a few months back, but right now he's set here to make a name once again.
And his opponent from Boulder Hill, California, weighing 214 pounds, the bad boy, Boyce LeGrande.
Here the APW faithful absolutely still in awe of this man. His athletics inside the ring are bar none.
I remember a few years back, it was back now where some of the fans sit up there in the balcony was where I used to sit and run sound for the live shows, and Robert Thompson was in the ring making a speech, and Boyce LeGrande steps out of the office right there, jumps up on my table and takes Robert Thompson out right in the middle of the ring from the balcony into the center of the ring.
And it's been that is literally peppered his career, just putting his body and mind and soul on the line in order to make a point inside the APW ring.
Absolutely. Now he's going to have to make a point against a multiple-time former Universal Heavyweight Champion, the Golden Boy Dylan Drake.
And Drake has been completely on fire in APW in the last few months in his quest to become the APW Universal Heavyweight Champion once again.
I mean, his last few victories read like a who's who of Northern California professional wrestling. El Chupacabra, Brian Kendrick, and J.R. Kratos all fell to the Golden Boy Dylan Drake in the Lucky 7 tournament.
And each one was an impressive victory in itself. A nice shake of the hands between these two APW superstars. And it looks like a clean break from Dylan Drake, the Golden Boy.
Dylan Drake squaring off here with Boyce LeGrande, feeling each other out here, getting ready to see who's going to get the victory. Go behind by Dylan Drake. Boyce trying to break it up.
He's got those fingers interlaced and able to break it with a hammerlock right now. The bad boy. And look at that. Look at Dylan Drake trying to maneuver himself and just reach around. And there we go. Back over into an armbar of his own. The Golden Boy Dylan Drake trained right here at the APW boot camp, Shane.
Started out, climbed the ladder, paid his dues the right way, was the ring announcer for many years. Of course, he announced some fantastic matches and during his time as the ring announcer, and then finally made his debut here in All Pro Wrestling. Had some fantastic matches earlier on with the likes of Oliver John, Jekyll's the Jester, and finally attained the ultimate goal of being Universal Heavyweight Champion.
And his career really, literally, on paper, is what it is to be an APW superstar. It's laid out so perfectly. He went through the motions of doing everything he could here at All Pro Wrestling in order to learn his craft to the best of his abilities. The bad boy Boyce LeGrande in control right now over the Golden Boy.
Trying to wear down that arm to make sure that Dylan cannot apply that beta breaker, which is his signature move and is the key to his whole arsenal.
Normally, it is Dylan Drake that is picking opponents apart in order to set up that maneuver, but it looks like Bad Boy has that move scouted out completely.
Only a 2 count. Bad Boy wisely going for the cover.
It only takes 3 seconds to get a victory, and that's all that he needs in order to pick up a big win, and that would really catapult Boyce LeGrande's return to APW.
Of course, Dylan very smart to be working the leg and knee here because, as I said earlier, Boyce just returned from an injury at the hands of Derek Sanders where he hurt the knee. So now even though Boyce has been cleared to get back in the ring, you gotta know that when it comes to a competitive athlete like Boyce LeGrande, they get back in the ring before they're at 100%, and Dylan Drake is looking to take advantage of that injury.
And that's the passion that Boyce LeGrande has for wrestling and APW especially. And look at that, just driving all of his body weight onto that injured knee of Boyce LeGrande, trying to re-injure it. And it's not that Dylan Drake is a bad person. It's just that's what you have to do to get a victory.
It's just the competitive spirit. I mean, that's what you've got to do, anything you can to win within the rules. And Dylan Drake is certainly sticking in between the rules, but a beautiful drop kick by Boyce LeGrande. Oh, super kick nails Dylan Drake.
Right in the mush.
1, 2. Dylan gets a foot on the ropes.
And that presence of mind, the only thing saving Dylan Drake right now.
Just bad luck on Boyce's part. Fantastic ring positioning for Dylan Drake, though, able to drape that leg across the ropes and avoid a costly pinfall victory for Boyce LeGrande that would definitely set Dylan Drake back a few steps.
That super kick caught him right on the butt of the jaw, and it just put out the lights of Dylan Drake.
Nasty chop by Boyce LeGrande sets him up for another one, just leveling the chest of, caving in the chest, really, of Dylan Drake. Oh, Dylan up! Oh, backbreaker going right to work on that back of Boyce LeGrande.
What an amazing backbreaker. It looked like he was going to go for a Uranagi, and then just out of nowhere, that's that ingenuity that Dylan Drake employs every time he steps foot in an APW ring.
Not only the ingenuity, just the wherewithal that Dylan Drake has to know what he's got to target and to know what he's got to do to wear his opponent down to set up that beta breaker.
Now look at this modified clutch right now by Dylan Drake, going for the camel clutch, going to full on go for it. A half camel clutch by the golden boy Dylan Drake.
Again, wearing down on that back. Of course, earlier he was working on the legs, and that's the interesting thing about a move like the beta breaker. There's so many different areas on the body that it can affect. It doesn't matter too much where Dylan works. I mean, he would waste his time working on an arm, but there's so many different facets to the beta breaker. Working the leg and the back is definitely to Dylan's advantage.
Absolutely. That Irish whip with full force. Boyce LeGrande just met those turnbuckles and just crumpling to the mat. And a big forearm smash right across the back. Look at this. Just Dylan Drake again. I talked about it a little while ago. He has really become aggressive, much more aggressive in the last couple of months here at APW.
Well, when you're the #1 contender, it's almost as big a target on your back as being the Universal Heavyweight Champion, because a win over you puts the person that beat you in line for a title shot.
Oh! LeGrande just scaling the ropes so quickly and then drops that leg scissors down on Dylan Drake. He just climbed the turnbuckles like a cat, just so lifelike and quick.
Did a little bit of damage to Boyce, too. Gave it,
A 2 count only, Shane.
too much time in between the maneuver and the pin, JJ.
And it goes back to what you said a moment ago, that he did damage to himself. And I think that sometimes that has been the downfall in Boyce LeGrande's career, in that he's used his, oh, look at that.
Back to the leg. Dylan holds on to it. Dragon screw leg sweep. Oh, it looks like he's going for it.
That beta breaker was set up perfectly. He's holding onto the ropes.
Again, Boyce, lucky ring positioning there for Boyce now, in the same spot where Dylan was able to avoid the pin earlier.
Again, Drake going right back into those legs. Look at that. You got to pull him back in. Oh, back up to his feet. Nicely done.
Boyce up to the top, moving a little bit too slow. Dylan cuts him off.
Oh, and that's not a position you want to be in.
Not even on a good day.
Well, that'll ruin your weekend. And look, Dylan Drake, the golden boy, going up to the top. We're going to see a high-risk maneuver right now.
Looks like he's going for that superplex, but Boyce able to fight him off.
That's dangerous territory for both men. And Drake, again, just catching him in the breadbasket right now. He's going to go for it again. This superplex, top rope superplex, if it's hit, is dangerous for both of them.
Absolutely. I've seen men be counted out of matches, a double count out because of a superplex. Both men are unable to gain their feet.
Oh, he just moved right out of the way.
Missile drop kick missed by Boyce LeGrande, setting up the opportunity for Dylan Drake to go for the beta breaker. He's got him turned over. The ref is in position.
A perfect position for that beta breaker, and the golden boy just cinches it on to Boyce. There we go.
Taps. Referee calls for the bell.
Your winner via submission in 7 minutes, 1 second, the Golden Boy, Dylan Drake.
Dylan Drake picks up a victory. Boyce LeGrande might have come back just a little too early from that injured leg, and Dylan Drake took advantage, putting on that beta breaker and cements his place as the #1 contender for that APW Universal title.
Showing everybody why he's the #1 contender, that's for sure. Of course, no disrespect to Boyce LeGrande, put on a fantastic showing here. If he had connected with that missile drop kick, it would have been all over for Dylan Drake, that's for sure.
And a show of respect for Boyce LeGrande in losing. He looks like a real winner. All right, we're going to be taking a commercial break. APW faithful, stay tuned for more Gym Wars.
Are you or your son or daughter celebrating a birthday soon? There's no better way to celebrate a birthday than to throw the birthday person a pro wrestling themed birthday party. We have several packages available, including renting our facility with a customized pro wrestling show. Bring your birthday cake and invite your guests to attend a private pro wrestling birthday party. If you are interested in having All Pro Wrestling be a part of your birthday celebration, give us a call at 510-785-8396 or visit the website at www.allprowrestling.com.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of All Pro Wrestling News Break. I'm your host, Jujuka. Larry Blackwell has a huge announcement pertaining to the Universal Heavyweight Championship. Let's waste no time and hear from him.
APW faithful Commissioner Blackwell here with a huge blockbuster announcement. Now, I'm well aware that Dylan Drake won his right to be the #1 contender in the Lucky 7 tournament. However, I as a commissioner do feel that it's important to adhere to the APW faithful. And what they're asking right now is for a rematch between the British Messiah Timothy Thatcher and Adam Thornstowe. And fans, you will see that match right here next week on Gym Wars.
We also saw last week that Dylan Drake has become the new #1 contender for that same championship. Blackwell isn't forgetting about him, and that match will be coming very soon. But first, Dylan Drake will have to take on a guy he helped train in Matt Carlos. We caught up to Matt, and here's what he has to say about his upcoming match with Dylan Drake.
APW fans, here it is. Next week, you will see for the first time ever, yours truly, out of control Matt Carlos versus the golden boy Dylan Drake. First time one-on-one ever at Gym Wars. And when I think of Dylan Drake, you know what I think of, Dylan? I think of back when I saw you ring announce. When I saw you make your first debut match when I was training in the APW boot camp. But something I also learned from you, Dylan, is that if you want something, you have to go after it. And what I want right now is my shot and my turn in line for that Universal title. So Dylan, I know you're gonna give me everything you got. I know you're a big guy. I know you're stronger. I know you got more experience. But Out of Control wants a little more gold around this waist. And I can't think of any man better to do it against than you. May the best man win.
APW faithful with a blockbuster announcement from the APW Commissioner Larry Blackwell. We're back into ring action here at All Pro Wrestling Gym Wars. One-on-one, Omega of the Carnival of Shadows taking on Matt Carlos. Out of control, Matt Carlos.
That's going to be an exciting match. Not only that, Matt Carlos has a lot to prove as he's stepping into the ring next week against Dylan Drake. That's going to be a fantastic match, but he better not look past Omega with the Carnival of Shadows, because that is one mess you don't want to step in.
Exactly. That's if he survives this week with this essentially a 3-person-on-1 encounter. Because anytime you have the Carnival of Shadows around, you're not just fighting one person.
Omega with his cape there. I knew a lot of kids in high school like that like to wear a cape for no reason.
Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by the Puppet Master Corvus and Darkness from Santa Maria, California, weighing 209 pounds, Omega!
Omega really is a fierce competitor, and he's really been stepping up his game. Every single week he steps into the ring here, and Matt Carlos is on a mission to prove he is one of the top competitors here in All Pro Wrestling. A little bit of a setback in the Lucky 7 tournament, lost in the first round to Will Rude, but now he's looking to make a statement.
Out of control, Matt Carlos, a former worldwide internet champion, getting back in the picture in the one-on-one game.
And his opponent from Union City, California, weighing 188 pounds, out of control, Matt Carlos!
Of course, we can't overlook that blockbuster announcement by Commissioner Larry Blackwell during the news break that he is foregoing Dylan Drake's #1 contendership to give a rematch to the fans that the fans demanded, as their Rock Legend scum Adam Thornstowe is getting an opportunity to challenge once again for the Universal Heavyweight Championship. What do you think about that?
I think that the last time we saw the two of them get in the ring one-on-one was one of the most phenomenal encounters I've ever had the pleasure of calling. And I can't wait to see that again here at APW.
I can't help but wonder how Dylan Drake feels about that. I would really like to get his comments on what is going through his mind as he has to take a step back in the Universal title hunt.
Well, he is guaranteed a shot at the championship in the very near future. It's just a matter of time of being patient. I mean, he's been there before a couple of different times, and I'm sure that it's just a matter of time before we see Dylan Drake get his opportunity for the Universal Heavyweight Championship here at All Pro Wrestling.
All right, here we go. The match is underway. Matt Carlos versus Omega of the Carnival of Shadows. Of course, you saw Omega came out with Corvus and Darkness. Spells bad news for Matt Carlos no matter how you look at it.
Absolutely. Both of these men, as of late, have been in a lot of tag team wrestling, making their returns to singles action tonight. A go behind by out of control Matt Carlos.
You know, Matt Carlos and Shane West was definitely a great team, but singles competition is where he truly shines. And this is just going to be another good example of that. But Omega is definitely not one to take lightly.
Well, it was out of control. Matt Carlos has had a far more successful career in singles wrestling than Omega. Not to take anything away from him. But
I don't know. I'm sorry to interrupt you, JJ, but I would have to argue that because Omega has toured Mexico. He trained with Ultimo Dragon. He is world traveled. He has held numerous tag titles. Granted, Matt Carlos has held more singles titles, but there is no denying the abilities and the skills that Omega has and the travels that he has had in his career.
Absolutely, I stand corrected. I just meant his career here at All Pro Wrestling in singles action.
Okay, fair enough. Then that I could definitely see that.
And both men right now kind of jockeying position, neither really having complete control.
Nasty forearm by Omega.
Out of nowhere, really. And he is just so unorthodox in his style as of late. It was not so long ago, in the very recent past, that he aligned himself with Corvus in the Carnival of Shadows and truly has gone to a deep, dark place inside of his young life.
Well, you know, there was definitely a storied road that Omega traveled to get to the spot he is now. Of course, earlier in his career, known as Kid Omega, perpetually a fan favorite, had an opportunity to take on Tim Thatcher for the Internet title, and was just there was a stipulation where if Omega lost, he lost his mask. Of course, the outcome was that Tim Thatcher won. Omega lost the mask and kind of floated around for a while, had no direction, and then had that mist spit in his face by Corvus and was now under the control of Corvus due to that mist and has been a disciple of the Carnival of Shadows ever since.
Truly, after he lost the mask, he really lost his smile. He's been a completely different wrestler inside of the ring, but I think that it serves him well as he's picked up many, many victories. Not that he's concerned with victories, but he's picked up quite a bit of victories since aligning himself with the Carnival of Shadows.
And we've talked about it here numerous times. You're absolutely right. The Carnival of Shadows not interested. Oh, big elbow by Matt Carlos trying to break the side headlock by Omega. Fires him off.
Up and over. Omega off the other side. Oh, it just rolls through in that elbow, that roaring elbow. And there you go. Out of control, Matt Carlos in control right now.
Beautiful clothesline followed up by a textbook drop kick. Takes Omega off his feet. Matt Carlos fired up and ready to go. Cross body.
And goes for the cover. 2.
Only a 2 count. So close.
Just stayed right on top of him, did Matt Carlos. Now, Matt Carlos, when he is on fire, is unlike anybody else. This young man is so popular with the AP. Oh! Out of nowhere. That boot right to the face of out of control Matt Carlos. Omega, that's what he does best.
Absolutely. I mean, it was fantastic the way Matt Carlos was able to duck that second kick, but was unprepared for Omega to recover so quickly and hit him with that big second kick.
Up and out of the way. Oh, just grabbing a hold of the side of the head with that bulldog onto his own body. 2, 3.
Impressive victory. Matt Carlos with the mat liner picks up a win.
Your winner in 4 minutes, 1 second via pinfall, out of control, Matt Carlos.
Man, what a huge victory. Shane Stolli, out of control, Matt Carlos picks it up.
Big win for the out of control one here at Gym Wars today. Corvus pissed. He is telling Omega off. Omega looks pissed too. I don't know if he's pissed at Corvus for yelling at him or if he's just upset at the loss.
The Carnival of Shadows camp not really happy right now. Normally not concerned with wins and losses, but it looks like there's some dissension going on in that camp.
definitely. I mean, I just Corbin's just angry, irate. Like we said, we always say they don't care about wins or losses, but maybe he's just mad that Omega didn't beat him up enough.
Well, Matt Carlos picks up a victory. We have got a whole lot more great action coming up here on Gym Wars. One-on-one, Daniel Torch taking on the Rock Legend scum, Adam Thornstowe, Shane.
Daniel Torch has a huge mountain to climb in front of him with the former Universal and Worldwide Internet Champion, but if anybody could do it, it's Daniel Torch.
Remember, APW Commissioner Larry Blackwell has made sure that we are going to see the APW Universal Champion Tim Thatcher take on the Rock Legend scum, Adam Thornstowe, again. And we will see him in action against Daniel Torch in just a few moments. Stay tuned as we take a commercial break.
Do you have what it takes to become a pro wrestler? The APW Boot Camp Training School is accepting applicants for pro wrestlers, managers, valets, and referees. All Pro Wrestling home APW Boot Camp is where future legends are born. For the last 19 years, APW has been the leader in talent development. Top graduates include The Great Khali, Crash Holly, Spike Dudley. For your free brochure, call us at 510-785-8396.
APW faithful, we are back here at APW Gym Wars, and we've got one-on-one with Daniel Torch taking on the Rock Legend scum, Adam Thornstowe. I hope you're ready, Shane.
I'm definitely ready. Daniel Torch looks ready. He has said, he's gone on record as saying, it's not every day that you get asked to wrestle your favorite wrestler. What's happening today, Daniel Torch is taking on Adam Thornstowe.
From Modesto, California, weighing 151 pounds, Daniel Torch.
Daniel Torch is going to have to use every single bit of that Bobby Hart training in order to take on the Rock Legend scum, Adam Thornstowe, today.
I definitely would have to say, if I was going to sit here and pick the top graduate from the Pro Wrestling Bushido School, it would definitely be Daniel Torch. I love to watch this kid in action. He's fantastic in the ring. Heart like nobody else.
And speaking of heart, the Rock Legend scum showed all that and more in his last chance at the Universal Heavyweight Championship against our champion, Tim Thatcher.
Absolutely. There's nothing I can say about that match. It was fantastic.
And his opponent from Reno, Nevada, he weighed in today 182 pounds, the Rock Legend scum, Adam Thornstowe.
Of course, Adam Thornstowe spent quite a bit of the last few years focusing on tag team action with his tag team partner in the Reno Scum, Luster the Legend. And it's interesting that this last match with Tim Thatcher was only his second title shot in the last 5 years because of that focus on wrestling with Luster the Legend as a tag team.
Absolutely. Only 2 opportunities for the Universal Heavyweight Championship since 2007. And APW Commissioner Larry Blackwell just a little while ago announced to us all that he is jumping over Dylan Drake to readmit Adam Thornstowe as the #1 contender. He's going to get a shot before Drake does.
That can't sit well with Dylan Drake. I mean, especially with somebody like Larry Blackwell, All Pro Wrestling Commissioner, and Dylan Drake is a graduate of All Pro Wrestling. You would think that maybe that he won. It's not like he was just handed to him. He deserves that title shot. That can't sit well with Dylan at all.
Well, Dylan Drake is a professional, and I'm sure that he's going to handle it in stride. I don't know how I would feel if I've ever been put in that position. Push off the ropes.
Up and over by Torch. Fires Thornstowe off.
Oh, just rolls over Daniel Torch. Adam Thornstowe with an arm drag.
Beautiful arm drag. Oh, and one back for him by Daniel Torch.
And a duck under. Here we go. Up and over. Tilt-a-whirl head scissors.
Beautiful head scissors by Daniel Torch.
Thornstowe back up to his feet, and he gets a big running body leg by Daniel Torch. Irish whip to the opposite turnbuckle. Here he comes. Oh!
Oh! Nasty curb stomp right to the throat of Daniel Torch.
Oh! You could literally peel him off the mat right now. And Thornstowe goes right in for the cover.
2. Daniel Torch reaching down deep, and that's all you can do after a move like that.
Give it up to Torch that he was able to kick out right now. Oh, and still on his feet. Look at those kicks. Those brutal kicks are one of the most devastating things in his repertoire. Oh, a back elbow.
You just given Thornstowe standing moonsault. 1, 2. Just giving Thornstowe too much time to recover.
Picture perfect. Wow, just executed so beautifully was that standing moonsault by Adam Thornstowe. And now those jabs to the head. Oh, a snot rocket into a punch.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that, JJ. Only a 2 count, though.
Well, it was very effective in eliciting that 2 count right now on Daniel Torch.
Nasty. Was that a forearm or a punch? It looked like a combo there.
Adam Thornstowe is really on fire right now. I know he's excited about being given another opportunity for that Universal title.
Ducks out of the way of Daniel Torch coming in with that big charge. Again.
Oh! Double stomp on the back of the head of Daniel Torch. And then slingshots himself over.
With a body press. Toby down for the count 2. Only a 2 count, though. Adam Thornstowe questioning Toby. Toby's been pretty on top of it so far, though. He's been calling it right down the middle.
Yeah, Daniel Torch has got to be second-guessing his option to battle Rock Legend Scum Adam Thornstowe one-on-one.
I always got a question when guys call for the move they're going to do in the match. It never seems to work out in their favor.
Clothesline into a Hurricane Rana right now by Daniel Torch.
It's the attention to detail that Daniel Torch has that really, he's always locking those feet when he goes for that head scissors and that Hurricane Rana.
Oh, he just gets dumped on the back of his head.
Adam Thornstowe just using that upper body strength to block that maneuver.
Yeah, give it up to Torch that he's trying to stay on top of Thornstowe. Daniel Torch and his partner, Shane West, are being granted an opportunity for the APW Vendetta Pro Unified Tag Team Championship.
Actually, I'm sorry to correct you, JJ, but that would be Mikey J that's getting the tie shot with. Shane West was Matt Carlos's tag partner.
Sorry, I'm so excited. Oh!
Look at that cutter. That ace crusher by Daniel Torch out of the corner.
And it was literally out of nowhere. Is that the... Wow, a 2 count only. I'm so excited about the action I've been seeing at APW. I'm sorry for that gaffe.
That's all right, it happens. You know what? I mean, we've got some great high flyers here.
Oh, and he just gets dumped on the back of his head. He holds on.
Picks him back up. Oh. Into the T-bone, and it's got to be it. 2, 3.
And that's it. Adam Thornstowe picks up a win.
Your winner via pinfall in 3 minutes, 55 seconds, the Rock Legend Scum, Adam Thornstowe.
An amazing victory for Adam Thornstowe, but a fierce fight by Daniel Torch. Got to give him credit. That was really nice.
Well, it will be not too soon before we see him against the APW Universal Heavyweight Champion. And now our main event, the Worldwide Internet Championship. Wrestling personified Rik Luxury taking on Levi Shapiro.
It's going to be a fantastic match. Oh, hey, what do we have here? We've got a little planning. We've got a little camera in there.
Hey.
Checking out the planning action.
The All-Stars getting ready, as is Marcus Mack and Wrestling Personified. We will see them when we come back from our commercial break.
5, 4.
If you would like to get involved behind the scenes with pro wrestling, we are looking for you. All Pro Wrestling is always on the lookout for talented interns in the areas of television production, including commentators, graphic design, and website design. We also have highly paid commission sales and marketing openings. For more information, email your qualifications and resume and tell us which area behind the scenes you'd love to be involved in. For your free brochure, call us at 510-785-8396 or visit us at www.allprowrestling.net.
APW faithful, as exciting as this week's Gym Wars has been, next week is shaping up to be very, very big. We've got the former Worldwide Internet Champion Will Rude taking on TheallStars Damian Grundy.
The Destroyer of Man has his sights set on the former Internet Champion, and with Matt Theall in his corner, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for Will Rude.
Also next week, Out of Control Matt Carlos takes on the winner of the Lucky 7 tournament, the Golden Boy Dylan Drake.
There's got to be sour grapes for Dylan Drake. While he's got to be excited to get in the ring with a guy like Matt Carlos, he's got to be upset because our main event does not feature him.
And that is the Universal Heavyweight Championship, Thornstowe Thatcher 2. Look forward to it next week here on Gym Wars.
Now we hear the familiar strains of the entrance music of another one of the TheallStars, Levi Shapiro. What do you think of this cat, JJ?
He's unorthodox, the unorthodox Jew, as it were. You hear the strains right now. This guy, he's he's unorthodox. It's like the perfect word for him.
Absolutely, and Matthew Theall, I mean, he's taking this young guy that really was considered by many to be a joke when he first came in because he'd come out and make open challenges and get the crap kicked out of him. But now Matthew Theall has shaped him into the serious competitor that he is today.
Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by
question the legitimacy of my comments, JJ. You have to think about it. Levi Shapiro, main event on Gym Wars, definitely turned things around for this young man.
Absolutely, and Matthew Theall will take all the credit in the world for eliciting the man's first championship opportunity here at All Pro Wrestling in his first main event here on Gym Wars.
I would definitely say, Matthew Theall talks out of his rear end quite a bit, but
Amen.
in the case of Levi Shapiro, I would have to agree that he is largely responsible for the career trajectory of this young man.
Well, these guys were cut out for him this week on Gym Wars against a three-time APW Worldwide Internet Champion, a man who's defended the title in more places and against more quality opponents than anybody in APW history.
I feel a little sorry for Levi Shapiro and Matthew Theall. Oh, look, running right to the ring, not waiting. Rik Luxury down in the stance.
Rik Luxury is just scouting out Shapiro.
Boom! Takes him right off his feet. Rik Luxury is pissed after what has happened and just laying into Levi Shapiro with fists of fire here.
Wow. It's been quite some time since I've ever seen Rik Luxury be this angry and just right out the gate. Luxury the big right hand and now drives the elbow right across the back of the head of Levi Shapiro.
There's just nothing that's going to stop Rik Luxury for getting a little bit of payback after TheallStars cost him and Damian Grundy, I know that sounds weird, but cost them the tag titles just a short while ago.
Shapiro meets the turnbuckles and thrown to the outside. And the sound guy just getting word that the match had already started.
It was such chaos there. It was really hard to tell what was going on. But now Levi Shapiro, he's just, I was just about to say he's in a bad way. And just like that, the crafty Levi cuts Rik Luxury off with that neck breaker across the top rope, followed up by that big double axe handle.
Oh, and then a fist drop by Levi Shapiro, the unorthodox Jew. What a huge opportunity for the Worldwide Internet Championship. And a little taste of gold for the All-Stars if he was able to pick up a victory today.
Absolutely. There's no doubt that every single competitor on the roster here in All Pro Wrestling wants a shot at the Worldwide Internet title. And Levi Shapiro is definitely taking the advantage to heart and taking it to Rik Luxury. But Rik Luxury takes over and fires in with a big forearm.
He has been so on fire as of late, has Rik Luxury. Oh, a spinning wheel kick.
Winning that Worldwide Internet title for an unprecedented, an unheard of third time. Just an amazing feat in and of itself. Rik Luxury, one of the best competitors in professional wrestling today, but Matt Theall has been manipulating and scheming against Marcus Mack and Rik Luxury for quite some time, and we've finally seen those plans come to fruition this last week, and now Levi Shapiro is continuing on the road to attempt to destroy Pink Mink Inc.
Luxury drops down, a fist right to the face, and that kick to the midsection gut wrench. With that German suplex, he holds on to it.
Hogan picks him up again with another gut wrench German suplex. It goes for a third, it looks like.
A little reminiscent of the Three Amigos from Wrestling Personified Rik Luxury. A little tribute to Eddie Guerrero.
Levi Shapiro slow to get back to his feet, understandably so. Now Rik Luxury, going for that crossface chicken wing. Got Levi out on his back, nowhere to go. And he taps, just like that.
His first main event, and he loses to Rik Luxury.
Via submission in 2 minutes, 26 seconds, the APW Worldwide Internet Champion, Wrestling Personified, Rik Luxury.
Luxury making short work of Levi Shapiro in our TV main event this week on APW Gym Wars. But this thing that's going on with the All-Stars and Marcus Mack and Rik Luxury is far from over.
That is a small taste of revenge for Rik Luxury, but you gotta know that he really wants to get his hands on Matthew Theall. After everything that has happened between TheallStars and Pink Mink Inc., Rik Luxury has gotta have evil intentions for Matthew Theall.
You gave me a mic not even on. So, here I sit in the center of the APW ring, still Worldwide Internet Champion. For the past 4 years, I've done a lot of bad things here. I've stabbed people in the back. I've lied. I've cheated. And then the All-Stars, you turned the table. You changed the hand. You re-rolled the dice. And you left me here fighting for my life. And that, cover your kids' ears, please. That's where you fucked up. Because this is my livelihood, and I have worked for 13 years to be the worldwide internet champion, and I will be damned if I'm gonna let two fairy boys come in and try and take this away. TheallStars, Theall, Grundy, what's left of Shapiro, and Perry Von Vicious. This title, I used to have a fake one, but now I have the real one, and it ain't going nowhere.
Thrilling words from the worldwide internet champion. For Shane Stolli, I'm JJ Purdum. Thank you so much for joining us here at All Pro Wrestling Gym Wars.
Come on, APW!